So that brings us to the other kind of X Division adjacent feud for the month, which is Team Canada against Jerry Lynn and Team NWA. It's more of a Scott D'Amore against Jerry Lynn feud.
Yeah.
So first show of the month, June 2nd, Bobby Roode and Petey Williams faces Jerry Lynn and Heavy Metal. I kind of like Heavy Metal because he's kind of terrible.
Hey, you want to know something?
What?
I kind of like Heavy Metal because he's kind of terrible.
He is like such a unique kind of terrible that like he's uncooperative, he's uncoordinated, he just does shit out of the blue, but it makes him feel like novel.
Yeah, and he kills himself while doing it.
Yeah.
He's kind of like a perfect mix. You know what he is?
Mm-hmm.
He's that very special part of a Sasha match.
Yeah.
Where she just throws it all and just says fuck it and let's go. But he's that the whole match.
Or is it just that like little element of danger?
Yeah. Like someone might get hurt here. And his name is Heavy Metal. And he has race car gear.
Oh, the race car gear rules. I love his gear. I love his look in general.
It's perfect. I love Heavy Metal.
So yeah. Even though he's being brought back, Heavy Metal is having a lot of things said negative about him, similar to Hoovy. On the June 2nd show, the feeling was that he didn't sell enough, and he also gave Lynn the hot tag 2 minutes earlier with Lynn screaming at him not to, which caused the match to end 2 minutes early. When asked about it, he responded that sometimes in Mexico you change things on the fly.
Sometimes in all of wrestling you do that.
Yeah, he's a true worker. He's like, he felt that was the moment for the hot tag. Jerry, get in there.
Yeah, would you yell at Sasha if you took it home 2 minutes early? No. I do like that I'm comparing Heavy Metal to the biggest star in WWE.
Yeah, it's Sasha Banks and Heavy Metal. It's the natural lineage of professional wrestling.
I would love some photos of Heavy Metal with like his fans 5 meters away from him.
He's like, no, keep away from me.
Yeah, I would pay $120 to take a photo 5 feet from Heavy Metal.
Was that how much they cost?
120 was for the double with Naomi.
Oh.
So it's still probably like $80 for Sasha. I love... I'm getting into this Sasha thing because I love it. I have no negative resentment towards Sasha about this. Keep those creepers away from me. The fact that she would like hug the women would make all the men stay 5 feet away from her. It's the fucking best.
Those are the correct instincts when it comes to professional wrestling fans too.
Yeah. Sasha's great. I hope she doesn't go back.
She's probably going back.
I know.
So Lynn was about to pile drive to...
You got Io, okay? You can't get Sasha as well.
They're going to get Roddy too, and you're going to be so upset.
Roddy, man. Hey, Roddy. Listen, I know it's really tempting. I know Paul's there, okay? I know that he has a magic way with words, but you could do the 4v4, okay? You could do blood and guts, man. Just fucking... I'm just wanting to just go wrestle fucking Kenny in a singles, please. You're like my top 5 wrestler of the 2010s, man. Please.
Listen, we'll get Roddy in 2005 TNA.
And I have heard on the grapevine there's one Alex Shelley coming up soon.
The very first show of July.
What a happy birthday present this is for me.
Lynn was about to pile drive Scott D'Amore, but Derek Young hit Lynn with the flag attached to a hockey stick, allowing Team Canada to win. Team Canada attacked him after the match, but Team NWA made the save.
I'm not into this flag match build.
Well, yeah, because it's still more World X Cup stuff and you hate it. It's like the World X Cup carryover stuff, so you're like, oh, it has the stink of X Cup on it.
I mean, maybe that's it, yeah. But also, I hate flag matches, so...
But you love flags!
I know, but I think they should be used as accessories and not be bandied around such. I do appreciate Scott D'Amore ripping a flag. It's the ultimate sign of defiance.
So, opening match of the first Impact was that 6-man tag with Team Canada, which leads us to the next pay-per-view, which had Team Canada facing the team of Hector Garza of Heavy Metal and Jerry Lynn. Lynn chased D'Amore out of the building straight away. D'Amore and Lynn eventually re-emerged on the other side of the building. D'Amore hit Heavy Metal with the hockey stick. Rude followed with a sit-out powerbomb. And then they tried to bury Garza under the flag after the match, but Lynn made the save. Lynn... They didn't try to bury Garza, just bury him under a flag.
In a way.
Lynn hit D'Amore with the NWA flag and was about to pile drive D'Amore again, but the Canadian stopped him. D'Amore ripped the NWA flag before the Team USA ran out to make the save.
Yeah, this part I did enjoy. I wish they weren't cowards, Garrett.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna say something here.
Oh, you wanted to desecrate a different flag, is what you're about to say.
Yes, I would have enjoyed if they ripped the American flag.
Which is, I believe, technically illegal in some places.
But also based?
But it stands for freedom, Liam. And in order to stand for freedom, you should be allowed to destroy the symbol.
And what does NWA stand for?
Tradition. We've discussed this many times on this podcast.
Yeah, wait, is D'Amore anti-tradition? Has that ever been a part of his character?
Yeah, he's going to join sex.
Alright, let's go. Speaking of sex, did you see D'Amore in the singles match?
We'll get to it. Next episode of Impact, another multi-man. Team Canada defeated Team Mexico. D'Amore hooked Heavy Metal's leg, and then Rude pinned him with a Death Valley Driver. Canada jumped Team Mexico afterwards. Garza tried to make the save, got overwhelmed. Team NWA made the save. You're discovering a reoccurring theme in these segments.
Yeah, so to make a modern comp, right?
Mm-hmm.
Remember when Team Taz and Sting started feuding?
Yeah.
And every week there would be a Team Taz beatdown, Sting save segment? Because they had like a whole nother month until the pay-per-view.
Yep.
That's what we're seeing right now, and it goes back to the earlier point that we made where we were talking about how there's just too much time to fill here, and if this was a 4-week, 2 pay-per-view thing, this would be a lot smoother. But because we're having to drag it on to fill time on all of these shows, it's getting bloated. Which is kind of fitting because of the payoff to this whole feud is quite a bloated match. So maybe it was all intentional.
So main event of the next pay-per-view, TNA interviews Team Canada and D'Amore. TNA is mad that D'Amore ripped the flag of the NWA. TNA is like, no, you don't rip tradition.
I love this backstage, the TNA segment with D'Amore. I think D'Amore's great.
He's a top quality manager, and probably doesn't get enough credit for how good a manager he is.
One of my my favorite characters on the show. I love his public facing character versus the like behind the scenes character that he's got going on, where it's like in front of the camera, in front of the interview, I'm cordial, I apologize for my actions, I'm trying to be nice, I'm trying to give a presentation about Canada and Canadians, right? But then as soon as he thinks the camera's off, he's like, fuck you, don't question my authority, I fucking rule all this shit. I like that he's kind of playing it in a two-faced manner.
So yeah, D'Amore says that the NWA oppresses Canadians.
Which I love, and I love Mike Tenay's response of like, no, there was one Canadian NWA champ, and he's like, 50 years ago, Mike.
Yeah. And 1 in 50 years, huh, Mike? Huh?
Mike's like, yeah, the NWA knows one Canadian guy. It's cool.
He's like, Lynn is a poster boy for TNA because he keeps on failing.
Which is a great bit.
And TNA starts asking PD, Rude, and EY why D'Amore leads them. Scott cuts them off before they can talk. Then Rude asks, like, when can we speak? And D'Amore gets real mad. And it's like, as you said, he thinks he's called the segment off, and he starts shouting at TNA first, kind of trying to cause dissension in his group.
Yeah, I really love Scott. I also really love I got the impression maybe that we were starting to lead to like Bobby Roode leaving, but I was like, that feels early. But maybe we're just doing like a setup to that. I also noticed, where is A1?
He's a much later audition. Like even Johnny Devine's only like in and out. He pops up in like 1 or 2 segments here and there.
I get Johnny Devine and A1 mixed up.
All the Canadians look the same to you, huh?
Listen, me and Mike. What can I say? But you're right. I was thinking of Johnny Devine because I was like, man, Devine killed it in his like one match that he did do that I really liked. So I've been missing that guy.
He pops up at some stage. I think it's in either the big ass brawl at the end or during the Lynn D'Amore match. He is on one of the shows this month.
Okay, I'm glad that he hasn't been like removed from the group.
So then, June 23rd, Jerry Lynn finally gets his hands on Scott D'Amore in a match that goes, for reasons passing comprehension, 15 minutes and 20 seconds.
Yeah, because I was saying before we started the show, like the first 7 minutes of this, I was into. I loved it. I loved D'Amore's shtick. I love that. I love him flexing. I love him trying to get out of the match multiple times. But then, it kept going.
Sure did.
And then I fell asleep. Then I woke up and realized that I was watching Masquerade Sagrada, and I was like, wait a minute.
That's not Scott D'Amore.
So I rewound it, and I saw the Cradle Pile Driver where he drops Scott right on his fucking head.
Yeah, right in his bead.
Which I love that. But I see here in our notes that you can get at patreon.com. There is a reason for this.
Yeah, so the show had been improperly timed and they basically had 10 extra minutes. So rather than rearrange the entire format of the show, they just lumped this segment, which was meant to go 8 minutes, so that it went 18. And it's like, D'Amore apparently wasn't entirely happy that he, like, literally did, like, a straight-up match with Jerry Lynn. He thought he should have been a little more chicken shit heel, but they ended up going 15 minutes and he kind of dominated him for a while. It was very weird.
Well, he dominated him last time as well.
Yeah, that match was only, like, 5 minutes, so...
It kind of makes sense, I guess. I'm guessing that 10 minutes came from them finding out that Jeff didn't want to go another 10.
So, yeah, D'Amore hits a moonsault. Lynn kicks out, to which Mike Tenay and Don West are stunned. They're like, how can this big load Scott D'Amore land on Jerry Lynn and not kill him? Which is very mean.
Also, and I said this last time, Scott isn't in bad shape. Like, he's a big dude, but he's clearly like an athletic big dude.
Yeah. So, D'Amore dropped the ref with a hockey stick as Lynn got a visual pin. D'Amore broke the stick across Lynn's back, but then Lynn kicked out. Lynn won with a cradle pile driver, which, as you mentioned, right on Scott D'Amore's head, right in his dome.
It was a great pile driver and a great sell.
So, Lynn had Born and Raised in the USA as his theme song for this, and it played through the entire post-match angle. Team Canada attacked, Saban made the save. They overwhelm Save, and then Daniels makes his ultimate return from his shoulder injury to make the save.
I was going to sing it as you did the rundown to symbolize the segment.
To really give people an idea of how it felt to watch this segment.
Yeah. Garrett, I have a question. Would you recommend anything that we've talked about to the fans so far?
Some of the X Division multi-mans are good.
Maybe check. I mean, I tell you what, if we're being honest, I would say watch the first episode of Impact.
Oh yeah, watch that whole episode. It rocks.
And you know, you can watch it with our commentary alongside it.
And it's free on YouTube as well. You can just, like, that shows up on YouTube. So you can just go to YouTube. You can watch.
We should upload the commentary so then you can just open up 2 tabs.
Well, it's on Patreon.
Guys, I tried.
TNAchat.com. But yeah, great episode of television. Really, like, as I said, a great showcase of what TNA is. The rest of the stuff this month, it's all, like, none of it is bad except maybe the Trail K stuff. That's not good. And you hate this Desire and Trinity match we're going to talk about.
Oh, I might tell you to watch that just if you hate yourself.
But there's just a lot of stuff that's fine, and you won't remember any of it. It'll just come and go. Even, like, the good X Division matches are all pretty, like, none of them are blow your mind, out of this world, best X Division match you'll ever see. They're all good little matches, and nothing really rises above good little match this month.
Yeah, I mean, there's some fun stuff, but nothing that I'm like, you have to go see.
Yeah, so last show of the month, Team Canada faces Sabu and Sanjay Dutt. Rude tried to hit Sabu with a hockey stick, but Sabu blocked it with a chair. Threw the chair into Rude's face and dropped a leg on the chair for the win. Sabu then hits Raven's pose after the match. D'Amore was mad, Rude, and Petey for losing, as Divine and EY then tried to cool things.
You love this match.
What did I give it?
2 3/4.
Yeah, I thought it was a good little match. They're good wrestlers in the match. My favorite spot in this match was Sabu was going to do his classic, like, run up the chair into a leg drop in the corner. But then Bobby Roode just petulantly kicked the chair into Sabu's shins.
There's a couple good chair moments in this. Like when he got it in there and he did it, and then he realized afterwards, I think like Sanjay did a roll in, and he's like, holy shit, the chair's there. So he had to like roll over the chair to dodge it. It looked real cool.
But yeah, so there's dissension in Team Canada, which I don't think ever goes anywhere, but D'Amore's shouting at everybody.
Well, you know, they're kind of on a bit of a downward spring of not really achieving much, so...
Even though they literally just beat AMW on television, but that's neither here nor there.
Is that going somewhere? Maybe. Who knows?
Perhaps.
Well, I'll pose another question to you, Garrett.
Shoot.
How do you feel about Team Canada's current position on the card? Because they came in pretty strong. They've only been here a few months now. They're a consistent part of the show. They're all over the show in multiple divisions.
I think they've settled well into a role that works for them as like real solid utility players. That they're the team or the wrestlers that they plug in literally anywhere when they just need guys to have a good match and a good little program. And it's like, let's just get one of the Canadians. We can put EY in a main event against Ron Killings for TV. We can put these guys in a TV match against AMW. We can put them against Sabu and Sanjay. We can just basically do whatever we want with them because they're good, well-rounded utility players.
They also fit that role that a lot of randos would get thrown into that would be a lot less interesting because you didn't actually buy them. But you chuck Petey and Bobby Roode in a match or something and you're like, oh, these guys could actually win in this, what would be like Sabu and Sanjay versus Pat Kenny and fucking whoever, right?
Like, you get a little of that where it's like AMW, we'll talk about this in a very brief moment. Actually, we'll go straight to the tag stuff, but they faced Nosawa and Miyamoto on one of these shows, and it's like, they're never losing.
But also, like, that was really poorly built because they just had them lose all the way up to it. If they had got, like, a couple wins, not saying that you would have really bought it, but you're like, there was something to it, you know?
You're like, they didn't put enough behind Nosawa and Miyamoto.
I'm saying always that no one puts enough behind Nosawa.